Welcome to another edition of the Live It Full podcast. I am your host, Richard. I am missing Caitlin, my co-host, in the studio today because she had other obligations and couldn't make time to record with me, which is quite all right. We're in a busy season of our life. If you follow us at all, you know that. But I wanted to say, if you do like us, you're watching, give us a share on Instagram, share us on your stories. Take a screenshot, leave us a 5-star review on Apple. And for those of you who have asked if you can leave a review on Spotify, unfortunately, you cannot, to my knowledge anyway. So leave us a review on Apple. We definitely appreciate it. It helps more people like yourself and like us who want to live it full find the podcast, find us on social media at The Real Live It Full on Facebook and Instagram, and at Live It Full on TikTok. It's been one of those busy weeks, but I wanted to talk about something. I try to always document our lives. I don't want it to ever try to create content. I want to just document what we go through on a daily basis, weekly, monthly, and kind of our struggles, our successes, and those kind of things. You know, that's what we do. But I was thinking about two things that correlated together. I was previewing a talk that I'm doing for a men's retreat. Some of y'all may not be familiar with the Emmaus community, but I'm working a men's walk to Emmaus. And I'm giving one of the talks. And if you've been on one, you understand. If not, there's different talks. And I had a couple guys afterwards, and I felt like I hadn't prepared well with everything going on. And they critique you at these meetings and tell you kind of what they like, what they don't like, what you could improve. And the majority of them said, man, you speak for a living, like you make it look effortless. Well, I didn't feel like it was effortless. Okay, so we'll get back to that in a minute. But what was going on this week too was my eldest daughter, she's been taking batting lessons all summer. She discovered she liked softball back in February. As you may know, if you've listened to us or watched us, she hadn't picked up a bat until then, or a ball and glove for that matter. And so to see the transformation she's made in 6 months from a kid who could barely swing a bat to hitting the ball well has been quite the transition. But I wanted to talk about that a little bit because sometimes we see professionals or we see people who do things well and we think, man, they're just naturally gifted. The truth is most people aren't. Most people who achieve a high level of success in something put in 10,000 hours to get there. And I want to talk a little bit about that because what my eldest, what she struggled with in the beginning with batting lessons was her batting coach is a phenomenal coach and he knows what he's talking about, but he breaks down your swing bit by bit. And so he had her doing drills that she felt like she was like, I want to swing and hit the ball. And the first couple of weeks that she did it, she was not really hitting live balls. She's working on shifting weight, throwing her hands, loading. I can't remember what all they say, but loading, shifting, snapping. And so she's working on these drills with wiffle bats, wiffle balls, with pool noodles, of all things. And it frustrated her because she's like, I just want to hit the ball. I want to get in there. Once somebody throw me a ball, I want to hit it. But she struggled with not understanding the little steps to build the muscle memory. The steps along the way that she had to take to ensure that it's just a natural part of her swing. And so this week, for the first time, she cracked a smile because at batting practice, because she's pretty intense. She's a little like me. She gets pretty serious. She cracked a smile because she was excited because she started to see results and he was letting her swing and take a full swing and she was doing it well. She was getting praise. She needs words of affirmation. That's her love language. And so she was very excited about it, but it took 2 months of breaking down the swing and working on it step by step. And she struggled with each step because she didn't understand why in the end that was going to work or what the finished product would be, because she's like, this doesn't feel like I'm batting. It feels like I'm swinging a pool noodle at a net. When the expert, he knows what that end result will be. She had trouble seeing it, but she finally, this week, it clicked. It went together and she started saying, man, the work I've been putting in does lead to this result. So I wanted to tie that into the talk that I did, that I previewed, that everybody said, man, you just make it look natural. You want to know why I make it look natural? Because I do those things over and over and over again. I practice speaking. The best speakers you'll find, they're not necessarily naturally gifted. Now, do they have more ability than the average person to stand up in front of a group and speak? Absolutely. There are some people that just have that skill set that they can get up in front of a group. But I can tell you this, they don't wing it. They may for a while, but you can't do that forever. When you get in front of bigger stages and more people, it gets harder. you get critiqued more. You have to be on your game. So you do practice. You go out, you do these recordings like I'm doing now. You do them a million times. You literally do spend 10,000 hours honing your craft before you are an expert and become truly successful generally. And so I wanted to tie that together because for those of you that are out there that are putting in those little steps, you're metaphorically swinging that pool noodle and not a real bat yet. Trust the processes. Don't give up. Keep grinding. Keep going. Keep working towards it, because a lot of times, like my eldest, for the last couple of months, she couldn't see what every little block she was building was adding on to the next. She couldn't see it because she was stuck in we'll use the metaphorical term. She couldn't see the forest because of the trees. Okay. And so she couldn't see that every skill that she was working on and developing built onto the next one. And this week was the first time she got to see it all together. And man, she came home jacked up and she was excited about it because she said, man, Dad, I get it now. And did you see that swing I made, that pop? Absolutely, baby girl. It was wonderful. And it was so cool and so rewarding as a parent to see the wheels clicking, the gears kind of getting together, those cogs fitting in. And she goes, wow, it makes sense. But I've had to tell her after every practice session, hey, trust the process. It's that whole, Karate Kid wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. He has no clue why he's doing it. And Daniel's son, Ralph Macchio, I believe, in Karate Kid, he doubted his sensei in that too, because he didn't understand that the end goal was a little bit different than wax on, wax off. And so it's really neat seeing that come together. So if whatever you're trying to grow, whatever you're trying to do, if you're trying to hone your craft, whether you're a hairdresser, barber, you're an attorney, a doctor, like those things, man, sometimes they just take time. And if you feel like you're struggling with life, maybe it's parenting, just know, keep building, do the best you can. And those blocks will eventually start coming together where you understand how they're supposed to fit. Now, Steve Jobs says it's always hard to connect the dots going forward. It's always so much easier to connect the dots going backwards. And I think that's what my eldest this week saw. She saw that I can connect the dots going backwards and see, but I had trouble seeing it going forward. So what I would tell you is trust the process that you're in. Trust that what you're doing is the right thing. Even when it's hard and even when you get discouraged, even when you think, wow, why am I doing this? Why am I making videos? Why am I trying to podcast? Why am I trying to share my message with other people when no one's listening? Because it's part of the process. It's part of building. It's part of laying those bricks, brick by brick by brick. There's a saying that I like, Rome wasn't built in a day, but you can bet your ass they were laying bricks every hour of every day to build it. You've got to be doing that. You want to build your empire? Maybe you don't want to build an empire. Maybe you just want to have a successful business or a happy life or successful children. Trust the process that you're doing, brick by brick by brick. Most people quit before they finish building that wall. Trust the process, though. You can't always see it going forward, but you can looking back. Just like she did this week. When it all clicked, it was beautiful. But trust that process. Build brick by brick what you're trying to accomplish. And someday you'll realize you are laying the foundation for the rest of your life. If you like what you hear, please share us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, anywhere you see this pretty face of mine. I'm joking. Caitlin's pretty face is usually on there too. Please share us. We also have some merchandise dropping, hopefully this in the next week. Had a few technical difficulties, but we're getting it lined out. Buy some t-shirts from us. We'd love to have you support us. We appreciate you listening. And as always, we hope you continue to live it full.